Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lost and Talks podcast, episode 68. We're back once again with more just depressing news and life stories and disappointment and...
True. Like what?
Just life, man.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
I've had a good week.
I've had a great week.
I've had a hectic week.
I've had a solid week.
Every week's hectic. And if every week's hectic, I think I'm doing something right.
No,
That's true.
Not necessarily.
No?
No.
I mean, as long as you know about, if you sometimes people, they think they're busy or they're just talking about being busy and they're not actually busy.
Not actually busy.
If you know you're busy. I
And
think
being busy isn't
Okay, the only...
necessarily a good thing.
I mean, we've probably spent a total of like 20 hours live streaming this week.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitch, Lost Nostalgia on Twitch TV.
Yeah.
it's a good time, Just have it on,
Just have it on, man.
Stream Minecraft, Among Us, editing, fuckery. I don't know. Some
Anything
shit.
else? I'll probably do some...
Whatever game's hot at the moment.
I'll probably do some other like reactions and shit on there, like YouTube videos. And
Live
shit.
reactions?
Yeah.
Whoo! That'd be sick.
Get that going. But yeah, man, just life. We're back at it. What are the states of your lives right now?
It's fine. Just going through the emotions. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I don't like winter, so I wish winter would end.
Yeah.
So,
Couple weeks.
we can go outside and do shit. Besides that, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we're just trying to work through. We got a lot of edits. We need to find more work because we just ran out of work. We're just finishing up a bunch of shit we've done. So we need to network more. There's a bunch of shit we need to figure out. YouTube is good. Keep it going. You know what I mean? I think we're in a good steady flow with our business and this podcast. So I'm satisfied as of now, for sure, with what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. How's your week been, Kevin?
Good. Basically, it's a weird time because it's like you're trying to think that it's early in the year, but kind of the projects that we're working on right now, it's like every decision you make is like, I'm like, oh shit, like the whole year's done.
Yeah.
It's like the year is done work wise, but it's still, I don't like, it's like we're still in the planning stages of all that stuff. So it's like, you plan something, you're like, okay, how long is that going to take? And you realize, like, I know that all of the things that we have going on right now are going to send us till the end of the year, but it's still like, it's still weird because you don't know what's happening at the end of this year. Because you're like planning, like, okay, this shit's going to be done by like May, June minimum. And you're like, wait, what the fuck is May, June even going to look like? What are we even going to be?
It's so hard to predict
Yeah.
where you're going to be in 3 months.
And what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
Not even just you, like the world and shit.
It's the state of our whole existence right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to tell exactly and plan your projects or your
Because
year.
I guess as artists, that's how we kind of used to run things. You start thinking about timelines and stuff. You're like, all right, especially now that we're doing like bigger projects, you're like, okay, this is going to take like a year. And before even then, it used to be hard because it used to be like, okay, yeah, like I can plan out the next 6 months or whatever, but I still don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But now it's even, that added layer of like not knowing what else is going on in the world, Mm-hmm. Before it was kind of like you could plan things and be like, yeah, it's also like that, like, not being able to have that in the back of your head about like, okay, we can plan this to do this, and like ideas that involve multiple people and things like that, just meeting up, like you can't really plan for that anymore. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but yeah, it's good. I've been reading like 2 books about the history of Scarborough and stuff, so I've just been
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Sick. How's wave shit going?
Good. We got the fellowships up and running right now. Got some really eager and like talented participants, and really excited to see how their ideas take shape. And we're gonna put so we got 4 writers and 4 photographers, and their work is gonna speak about living in this time right now, especially from a perspective of in marginalized communities. I think it's a really interesting perspective because, especially with our work, with the Nuit Blanche and like the other ideas, like the themes are already kind of revolving around this idea of connection and how people sort of interact in spaces in marginalized communities. That's something that you already talk about, especially in a place like Scarborough that's like really new but has all these like old cultural things too. So adding the pandemic on top of that, there's like a lot of, it's like intensifying those themes, you know. So it'll be a really interesting compilation of works that we're going to put together in a book, which is going to be the first book that I think we've done movie, we've done film, now we've done music, we've done now we're moving into books, and then we got the podcast, and we're doing everything.
Yeah, man. That's real shit. Yeah.
How are you guys doing the sessions? Is it over Zoom?
Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's not the same though.
No,
It's
it's
not-
not
it's
at
gonna
all.
suck,
Yeah,
though.
It's
Sucks
gonna
out
kinda
that
suck,
life,
right?
yo.
honestly, because the best part of the whole wave program, I feel, was the fact that you could meet up and like
Of course.
I would even say just like the hanging out.
Yeah, exactly.
aspect of
It's
just
not the same.
No,
You're not
yeah.
gonna build the same connections.
No, we
with those people. Because
Yeah,
I know a lot of your last year's people, you guys have made good friendships with them. You know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Some have carried on to continue growing the business. Like you've even taken some of them on
exactly
to be part of the team.
Those are all like the
Right.
main like the main aspects of the program that we wanted was like we wanted to not only have participants, mentor mentee relationships, but we wanted to create like the family, because that, you know, like with everything that we do, we kind of
Yeah.
wanted to bring them into the umbrella before we even started talking about the umbrella.
It's gonna be
right?
tougher on Zoom.
the
I
umbrella,
think.
man.
Exactly.
It's gonna be tougher on Zoom. You know, you
But
can't,
we
like-
talked about things like, you know, maybe doing like a socially distant photo walk in the Rouge, you know, like
Yeah, I'm
tell
sure
the
you guys
writers
could-
to come through and they could like, you know,
I'm sure you can do something
yeah,
like that.
Socially distanced.
yeah.
I mean, you're outside. I mean,
Yeah.
there's outside is okay for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the most part.
yeah.
But yeah, it must be a completely different vibe though.
Yeah.
for sure.
But so reading about like Scarborough history and stuff, I believe it was at Birchmount and Eglinton, or like Warden and Eglinton. There was a big engineering plant so during World War II, like it was like a huge plant that covered, I think, like the whole block, and it was just, they would build war, like shit for the war. So it was like a bunch of women employed in Scarborough at the time who were like working in these factories, and then there was also like a few parks that were used for like testing like diving and stuff. And in school, like you were learning like air raid drills, and like
That's wild.
there are like people like knitting shit for
That's
it's
like
a weird
something
like
they don't
parallel
teach in school now.
Yeah.
You know, they don't teach like those
Air raids.
those good trades.
Yeah.
Air raids and shit.
Good
you know?
trades.
Those good trades. You know what I mean? Sorry, where was this in?
in Birchmount and Eglinton.
So that's like when you're reading in the history
Yeah,
books?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Reading about the
Interesting. Yeah, you know, they don't teach some good air raids. You know,
I wanna learn
just
about-
like useful stuff we talked about last time. You know, school is teaching us.
They were
some
also
crazy shit
apparently
now.
they taught like farming, and especially in
Yeah.
Scarborough schools,
Yeah.
because Scarborough up until like 1950
Most were farmers.
It was mainly a farming area.
Yeah, most
and
people were farmers. And their
So-
fathers or hand me down
Yeah.
their farms. And
So most schools
Yeah.
were like, you would just learn about like agriculture and shit, and then
Yeah.
either you would just work on your parents' farm, or they said like people were moving to Toronto. Even at that time, like people
Yeah.
were already like
Yeah.
moving.
only like the
Yeah.
top people go into business. You know,
Yeah.
those are like everyone's hands-on trades. You know, working class. Back when working class actually made money. You know what I mean? I mean, farmers still make money today, but it's a whole different game now for those people.
Yeah,
They're,
Yeah.
they're dealing with a whole next war
yeah.
in their own
Yeah.
fields.
And
man.
especially in India,
And
the
yeah,
largest
especially in
largest
India right
protest
now.
in
Oh
human
shit!
history.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that on
which
Twitter.
is just wild.
Yeah.
I don't even. Do you know what's going on with that? Do you know
Basically-
what's the rules going on? They changed laws.
Yeah,
or
they
something?
just the government kind of just imposed a lot of laws. They're like, I think 3 main laws, but basically the basis of it is they want to shift the power of like farming and agriculture in India more towards big corporations, so that they
Of
can.
course they do.
And then like, so the farmers already aren't making money, but
Yeah.
then they want to like squeeze everything they can out of them, and it seems like what they're trying to do is like abandon them and especially in a pandemic time.
pandemic.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's
That's bullshit.
It's crazy, yeah.
That's some capitalism.
And then-
Sometimes the world just brings me down, you know?
Yeah. India
Yeah.
it's a really interesting thing. Like, I haven't even talked to I don't really talk to my relatives too much, but like if I did, it's like, happy birthday and shit. But it's
Yeah,
like
the basics.
I never had a conversation about politics, but I apparently, so like Modi is the Prime Minister of India, and he's a very like nationalist. You could call him like a Trump, essentially. Like him and Trump
Yeah.
were boys. A lot of people
were boys?
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people in India fucked with Trump because they saw them similar. They think
yeah.
him and Trump.
I
they
heard about that.
Thought they shared like similar ideas of nationalism.
There's a documentary about a lot of Trump supporters being in
Yeah.
India. There's even this guy that maybe we talked about.
Yeah, we
the
talked
guy
about
that
it.
worshipped him.
Yeah.
Was he from India
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
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 That shit was crazy.
India is a very nationalistic country, right? Like, especially like
Yeah.
the Hindu nationalists, like they like that kind of, they share that same kind of philosophy as
True.
America, and they're like, immigrant kind of policy and things like that. So yeah, it's basically, they're just trying to fuck over the farmers and then also portray them as terrorists at the same time.
Yeah, India's got some strict borders.
Yeah.
They you need a visa to get in, right? Like,
Yeah.
No passport, but an Indian passport can get you in. You need a visa. Every passport, I believe.
Yeah.
And you have to pay a lot for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, like hundreds of dollars.
And
for
it's pretty funny, like,
Yeah.
it's something you don't think about, especially when you're born here. But like, so like a few years ago, the guys, they were planning a trip to India, and I think Faizan was planning to see if he could go too, and he's from Pakistan, and the rules, like, we could go to like born from, if your parents are born from India, like we could go to Pakistan no problem, but because his parents were born in Pakistan, and he had to like get a visa and then like get somebody in India to like vouch for him or something and say like, like he's cool. Yeah. It's like a huge process.
Yeah, their citizenship's really
Yeah.
strict. You can't have dual citizenship. You're either an Indian citizen or not. Even if you're born there, if you become a citizen in another country, you lose your Indian
Yeah.
citizenship, even if you were born there.
Yeah.
So
Like my mom
it's
has
really
to get
strict.
a visa now if she
Yeah,
were to
even
go.
though she's born there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy, right? So it is what it is. That's how they run it. On other news in the world with some fucked up shit, there's some crazy shit happening in Myanmar right now. Though there's like they're literally going through a coup. I don't know if you heard about that. Yeah, like literally the military is like I don't know. I haven't looked at the updates in a day or two. Maybe things have changed, but they literally like kidnapped the president of that country, the military, like the generals that run the military. I guess they're trying to overthrow and become military dictatorship power again, because they were before. Yeah. And then Myanmar went through all that bullshit and actually elected a president, and now they're trying to run that
overturns and like the leader said, "Yo, it's year zero." Like 30 years ago, he's like, we're starting over.
I know how he feels. I'd love to just start over whenever I want.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah,
though.
the people there, there's just some political, like, it's a beautiful country from what I hear. And like Jake Berchenko, remember him? He went there, I believe, and he told me it was great. And but it's just a fucking political mess. That's unfortunate when politics just destroys a country.
Yeah.
Because like the citizens there are fine, and they would live totally normal lives if it wasn't for a bunch of politicians and military people fucking taking over everything.
So much shit like that happens just all over the world. Sucks, like Venezuela.
That too.
So many places that we already all know about, but it's like we're so far away. We feel like, unfortunately, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
And the worst way to put it,
Yeah.
And we can only send over so much money and still see the same type of shit.
The money is just
going on. Like, what is that really going towards?
Unfortunately, it's the money won't help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is the politicians. The money will go to who's the money going to? Like,
exactly. We don't even know, man.
Like, it's going to the people, but like it ends up going back into the pockets of the fucking politicians, anyways. At some point, it all comes full circle.
Yeah. It's a weird thing when you think about how this time, obviously this time is gonna be one of those historical things that we look back on, like the Depression and like what was going on, how are you living through that? But it's also like when you think about those time periods and like things like that, it's like the only people who are gonna really talk about who is like majorly affected by this pandemic are going to be like people like us in the first world, because we are the only people who have like been significantly affected by it, because other places in the world they've already been dealing with shit.
Bro,
Yeah.
people,
Non-stop
like I've watched a couple Vice documentaries. I was watching one the other day actually on wet markets. Now, because there are still lots of wet markets, even though that's literally where coronavirus was bred.
Yeah, and a bunch of other diseases.
There's tons of wet markets in China, in other countries. They were even doing there's one in Albania. There's wet markets in Albania, and the government told them you can't have it here, and they're just like, fuck you, and we're gonna do it anyways. And they're interviewing people in Albania, and they're like, a COVID, like that's not a thing. And even if it was, like, you live or die, you know, like that's, you get it. If I get it, I die. It is what it is. Like, that's literally how that dude was talking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, there's some truth to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like here in North America, like we really invest a lot of time and resources into just keeping everyone as safe as possible. And like in other countries, it's literally just a free for all. Like it literally,
they don't have any money to.
Yeah.
They don't have any money to stress. Like,
Yeah.
They can't even worry about that shit.
He's like, yo, I gotta sell these animals at this wet market, or I'm gonna have no money. Like,
those are other problems.
I have no choice. Like, you know what I mean? Because here, I mean, whatever. Here, the government can literally force everyone to be on, like, a ton of people to be unemployed, and then hand us checks monthly. You know what I mean? And most countries don't do that. So you're fend for yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. They don't even help you find jobs either. Here, we even help us find jobs. You know what I mean? We have unemployment services. We have all these different resources.
Yeah.
It's really good. But yeah, it's just crazy. So that's why COVID doesn't exist in those other countries, because they literally can't afford to make it exist. You know?
No, I've also heard doesn't exist in other places in the world, which is believable. Allergies. Like people overseas and stuff like that, they see that as like a white problem, or like a Western problem.
Yeah.
Like
Allergies?
Allergies, yeah. They're like, we don't have those types of issues over here. And I can understand why. It's because we have so much different shit in our food compared to some places, right?
Yeah.
Where they're just, you want chicken, it's
Yeah.
over there in the bin. You can go grab it. You know what I mean? While here we have a lot of different shit in our foods, and people then develop stuff over time. But it's just interesting to think about, you know, different perspectives.
Like being
from all
allergic
around
to
the
certain
world.
things? Is that what you mean?
Being allergic to certain
You're not talking about like
things.
seasonal allergies.
No. But
Oh,
even I don't even know about seasonal allergies, maybe too. But yeah, just being allergic to certain things and how that develops and progresses throughout all generations.
Well, I think even like, so like, for example, like seasonal allergies, you know, I feel like
like
if it does exist,
here,
it's just a thing where it's like they have so many other things going on in their body, and like not being diagnosed, that if they had a little cough or a flu, like would that even like would they even register that? Like would they even know that that's a, you know, like
Exactly.
It's just it's just and like if somebody has like a fatal allergy to peanuts or something and they die. Like
They die.
that's, you know, it's not like, oh yeah, they were allergic to peanuts, you know, like it's just
So we don't need to figure out the whole backstory.
Yeah.
What you don't need, you know, your flashbacks and this and that. You're dead. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just interesting, you know, when you just look at how other people view the world all around the world.
Yeah.
And again, it just reminds me of, you know, how small certain problems are.
Yeah.
Compared to, you know, what's going on. Like, I couldn't imagine being in a place like Venezuela, for example. Water's costing me $300. You know,
You don't have toilet paper.
and you don't have toilet paper. You're always worried about the safety of your family, getting home at certain times. Like, I could not even imagine having to deal with that shit. So it's just, I'm happy we're in such a blessed situation, even though sometimes it feels really shitty.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like we're dealing with
Yeah, I think we take it for granted, man.
definitely we do.
And even people who live in Toronto, and I love Toronto, and people are like, oh, the city sucks. I'm like, why do you say that? They're like, I live in America. I'm like, why though? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I love America, but like, why? Do you really want to live in America though? Like, do you really? It's just a different vibe out there.
Yeah.
And like, I like Toronto a lot more than anywhere I've been in America, even though, you know, it's a good change. It's a good change of pace when I'm there. But over here, this is like where I'm born, and my family's here and shit. So I'd rather be here. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel completely different, but
No, I feel you on
That's
that.
my
I
opinion.
really like living here.
yeah, I don't mind living here. I mean, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind spending like several months in the States
Yeah,
annually.
exactly. I wouldn't mind spending
But
months at a time.
at the end of the day, you
elsewhere.
come back here. This is where you're coming back for Christmas. This is where you're coming back
Yeah.
for whatever, to hang out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how it is. I don't see myself moving anywhere else. Right? You know what I
Like,
mean?
yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
have my kids be raised in the States, let alone like I
Yeah,
can't.
exactly.
I'm trying to imagine growing up in an American school. Like,
Wild, man.
Yeah,
No.
there's just like
That's just
the American
crazy to me.
school, you know, the healthcare, unless you're crazy rich, you know what I mean? But still, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I mean? If you talk to a lot of Americans, they would be like, yeah, I'd live in Canada. It's a very common answer, believe it or not. They like Canada. Like they
well, the
think
one,
it's
the
great
ones
here.
who's because
Yeah.
there's still ones who think it's like whatever, like coal everywhere.
Yeah. People who understand what Canada
Yeah.
actually is
Yeah.
know that it would say that they wouldn't mind living here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, yeah, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like it's you guys have less issues over there. That's what they'll tell you.
That's what they think.
Yeah. I mean, we have our own issues.
We have our own issues, yeah. Like everywhere else, that we just all have our own.
Yeah.
It's just not televised like America's.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, we have certain things down though that are better though. Healthcare being one, you know what I mean?
But you can see that as a negative.
Why?
Long lines.
Long lines. Yeah, I mean that's what a Republican would say.
That's facts. Don't tell me you've never been to a hospital for whatever reason and
Hey man, you
you've
can't
waited
win.
for hours.
You can't
know
win.
what I mean?
You know, you either pay a lot to get the
Yeah.
best. You either pay a lot of money on insurance to get the most efficient healthcare, or you get the free version and you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is
Oh,
what
yeah.
it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But it's
yeah.
all just perspectives from all around the world, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure, you know, people in even like Europe, for example, would be like, nah, like, fuck that shit, you know?
Well,
we like certain things that we have here.
Well, in
blah,
Europe,
blah,
it's
blah, blah,
shit's
blah.
even more free in Europe usually.
I have to pull up to Europe.
Like education's free in a lot of European countries.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
even a step up from us.
Exactly.
Yeah, in France and in Spain and stuff, it's free.
Those are the places I really want to go to, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy that
over
like
there.
countries can have just completely different philosophies on like what is when you say something's free, you're saying like that's a basic right that everybody is,
Yeah.
you know,
Universal,
for the most part.
universal
Yeah.
secondary education. Now, some will argue that the quality of the education is not as good,
Yeah.
and I believe there is truth to that. You know what I mean? Versus American schools are very expensive. I mean, they are the top schools, you know, that people say Ivy League schools that you go to are very expensive schools. If you go there, then you can universally get like any high-paying job in pretty much any country, and there's truth to that. But I mean, I'd rather get education in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
That's
man.
free versus like the top education that I have to get a crazy scholarship for or pay for a lot of money for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I think. I'd rather just general knowledge
Yeah, exactly.
than the best.
Exactly.
Because
Because
I don't need the best.
most people, yeah. Even in America, like community college is a thing that most people, not most people, but a good amount of people that can go don't go because they can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even community college, and this is like our college. It's like a version of our college. That's like something anybody should be able to do,
Yeah, at the end of the day.
regardless of how much money they make and
Yeah.
where they live. It's dumb.
No, you can't. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
it'd be hard. Yeah, for you to just take a like you got to think about. Yeah, it's hard to value those things, like, you know, thinking about a degree being worth more based on like you shouldn't have to like be like, okay, this is an investment. You know, my
Yeah.
degree is like I'm investing, you know, $50,000 or $100,000 more into just this name of this university, but it's gonna mean that much more later on in my life. It should be just, you know, I'm gonna learn as much as I am gonna learn. You know.
I have a thought. Do you think, and this is with our generation and millennials, which we're in that generation, and then the next generation, which is Z, whatever. Do you think that the need for post-secondary education is going to diminish over the next decades or so? Can you guys see that happening? You know what I mean? Because yes or no, essentially, or maybe.
Yes and no.
I guess I could see it because I guess our generation is probably more socially accepting of it
Yeah.
than I think our parents and like
Yeah,
maybe
previous.
maybe just the past two generations.
Right. So a
Yeah.
lot of people going to post-secondary like university is essentially out of social pressure from their families.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one element of it.
It's like our generation
yeah.
still definitely felt that pressure, and
Yeah.
I think our kids, we're not gonna put that pressure on our kids.
I don't think so, no.
And
Not
then
much.
maybe
Especially
like
if we're not graduates.
Yeah, exactly. And then I
like-
feel like even the generation after us, I think there's less pressure on. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's less pressure
Okay,
on
so
them. I
that's
don't know.
one point.
Yeah.
My thought is that because of just the amount of opportunity that can be created in the internet space,
Yeah.
like being able to be an entrepreneur on the internet,
Yeah.
and be able to create your own business. You know, there's so many different things now, you know, and you hop on Clubhouse and you see all these different people everyone on Clubhouse that's talking about on these business chats are essentially people trying to make a name for themselves, you know, through building an online business of some sort in some niche. And I just see like so many more people at least attempting to get into that in our generation more than ever. And if people are successful at it and there's so much opportunity like that, I feel like the need for getting that 4-year degree is not necessary, and
Yeah.
won't be as necessary in the future. I feel like, even though I feel like we've peaked on how necessary it is to get that, because like if you have any, they say if you don't have something under a university degree, then you might not. Your chance of getting a high paying job is low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Unless
then-
you're in trades.
Yeah, and then see the other thing
But-
with that too is like, you know, a lot more internet entrepreneurship and stuff. Like universities catch on to that, and then
Yeah.
they start creating.
Yeah.
They're gonna
programs
start
for
creating like online entrepreneur.
TikTok.
Yeah, literally.
TikTok
Yeah, there's gonna be a
class.
majors in TikTok and yeah, like a minors in
That's so
YouTube.
dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, but like you gotta be a sucker to pay. How much you pay for tuition, $80K or whatever.
Well, but there's suckers out there with money.
yeah.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? There are some degrees.
But
like that now.
it's hard because, you know, where we are right now, like the internet or the way that the internet is working right now for, you know, the social world is relatively new, right? So that's why I think we feel comfortable being like, all right, we can go on there because everybody else is just as inexperienced as us.
It's so new. I mean, think
Right?
about it. We were the first generation to actually grow up with social media.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when we all started using phones was around the time social media came out. 2008, between 2005 and 2008-ish is when all the major social medias came out, right? That's around the time we started using phones. We're
Yeah.
the first generation to literally be using the social media.
Yeah. And I mean, even
Right.
like with MSN and shit, like we've grown up with it, right? Like since
Yeah.
90s, 2000s, like we've kind of got accustomed to that culture. But like with anything new, you know, we feel like, okay, yeah, there's nobody higher up than us. So there's nobody to like learn this from. But when it's something that's been around for 20, 30 years, you're like, okay, yeah, there are people who are like experts in this field. You know, there are 30 years from now, there's going to be TikTok experts and there's going to be, you know, online entrepreneur experts and stuff. But so you know, like it's good because from right now we can look at it a perspective as like, it's a free market. Like anybody from any real you don't need any qualifications to try and make something of yourself on the internet in a certain sense, right?
certain
It's just
sense,
based
yeah.
on your experience.
Yeah.
But like the way that time goes is like, as there's people who like figure this shit out, they're gonna formalize it and be like, all right, this is the way that you got to do it, and then it gets into the education system and things
Yep.
like that, right?
Because those people are going to see that as a hustle themselves.
Yeah. You know, yeah. So maybe, you know, like I feel like apprenticeships would be nicer to see, you know, like, because I feel like you don't see that enough. Like there should be apprenticeships in the film industry and then like in the music industry, you know, like instead
Yeah.
of having to go to, if you want to be a music producer, I know it's hard, but like, you know, to find a producer for every aspiring producer, or like find a director for every aspiring director who could like shadow them. But I feel like that
That's so much
apprentice
more
relationship
valuable.
is a lot,
more valuable. It's
especially
more
in our
valuable.
work, you know, like
so
in our
valuable
field.
versus like having someone teach you in class about whatever.
Teaching from a book, like,
Yeah,
you know, it just
old
doesn't
and
work
it's usually
sometimes.
Yeah. whatever.
Just the amount of time you waste
Versus
yeah.
just literally hopping into the field as an intern, as a whatever having a mentor and literally showing you the ropes.
Yeah.
Like being in creative industry, it should be like they do it with trades. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like when you become a hair stylist or dresser or whatever, you are usually paired up with an apprentice or something like that. Same with welding and
Yep.
and all these different trades. And why isn't the creative industry similar? because like the learning process is similar.
Yeah.
You have to do it to get better at it. You know what I mean?
And like when you take those trades courses,
Yeah.
like you get the education, you get the theory aspect or whatever, but then
Yeah.
a major part of it is the apprenticeship aspect of it, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
because you're not going to learn how to be a hairdresser, a plumber, or whatever just by reading a book for 4 years. You know, you got to be on the job, right?
Essentially,
And
yeah.
this stuff too, like it's all hands-on work, like
Yeah.
especially if you're working with a camera or you're working
Yeah.
with musical equipment, like
Yeah. It should be definitely a system like that.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Do you feel like we're gonna get to the point where our generation is just gonna be a majority of, or our generation, the next possibly, is gonna be a majority of entrepreneurs? And how is that actually gonna work?
I think it's related
Yes
to our
and no.
conversation last week about like multiple like streams of income.
Yeah.
I feel like our generation is definitely going to be that generation that has mostly like multiple streams. Where we're not just
Yeah.
one job people.
Entrepreneur is a word that's thrown around a lot. There's a lot of phonies out there. There's a lot of wannabes.
But like before the phonies, like
okay.
before we get into that, like
Yeah,
I mean, like
'cause we
people
could
that are
get into
actually
that, you
doing
know what I
shit,
mean?
you know?
Because there's a
Like
lot of
successful entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur is a
like,
tough-
Are we gonna? Because it looks like from how I see it right now, we are the generation of people that are, or the generation that's gonna have the most successful entrepreneurs.
I think so. In internet for real, because like I think we talked about this in the past. Like we've had these topics a lot in different variations. Like the old way of being an entrepreneur was to open a brick and mortar business, right? And that's what like our grandfathers had done, for example, or our grandmothers, starting a brick and mortar business, be it like whatever, a coffee shop or a little hotel or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something,
A farm.
whatever, something like with a physical address that would bring customers in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the old way of being like an entrepreneur. Now it's more in the internet space, as brick and mortar will always be around, but I think the need for it will be less and less. And unfortunately, as big box stores slowly take in and disrupt the whole brick and mortar industry, like Amazon, then it'll be tougher for those people. It'll be cutthroat over there in that side of entrepreneurship. But for internet, yeah, like I think our generation is definitely going to succeed, have the most success on the internet, because like let's face it, the boomers don't know what the fuck they're doing on the internet. You know what I mean? If they're gonna try and convert their brick and mortar to online, they're gonna struggle, and it's gonna be a slow process. By the time they figure them out, we're gonna be jumping hoops through them and outselling them, and I believe that. You know what I mean? So I think we will have the most success. Now there's a lot of fakers out there, and a lot of people or let's just say there's a lot of people trying and not succeeding. And it is what it is. There's always going to be people that'll fail. But being an entrepreneur is not easy, man. And some people might think it's easy. It's really not. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah,
It's almost not fun
yeah,
in a sense, because there's a lot of work you have to put in. A lot of work. You have to be dedicated, man. Like, no excuses.
yeah.
That takes over your life. You ready?
Yeah.
You ready to cut anything fun out of your life and just work? That's what entrepreneurs being like, at least in the first few years, for sure. So, and
I kind of like that though.
People
I
are not ready for
I like
that,
the
though.
idea of I like the idea of people finding that thing in their life where they have to dedicate everything. Like because for example, like dedicating your entire life to being an entrepreneur. Like if you came to this land in Scarborough 100 years ago and open up a farm, you had to dedicate your whole life to that because there's nothing else you could do, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
and all the work you put in onto your farm is just the amount of money you can make from it, right? So it's like we have to kind of think about it that same way, even though maybe it can be harder because I don't know, like with farm physical labor, like it might be easier to just think about. It's like, okay, I have to do this, this, and this. Whereas the internet is kind of still this abstract space. You kind of don't know how much physical work you have to put in. But like, I feel like, especially where we are right now, like I know like how much work that I need to do, and it involves the internet. So it's like, I feel like anybody can get there, especially if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur. Like, once you decide that, you're never going to stop working for the rest of your life. And I think you have to be okay with that. I think everybody should find that though,
Yeah, I think being an entrepreneur is worth a try, especially when you're young, and there's so many so many opportunities to grow a brand online. I'm just gonna say it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have to figure that out on your own.
Yeah.
Because success in entrepreneurship only comes to certain people. It doesn't come to everybody. And that's just the way it is. You know what I mean? You could even be trying and it doesn't come to you, and that's just the way life works. So it's brutal.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know what I mean? So. No, definitely try it. If it's not for you, it's fine. It's there's other ways you can make money. So don't stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, seriously, it's really not for everybody. You know what I mean? Because like some people like the idea of being one, but then like but are they actually down to work 70 hours a week though? You know what I mean? And give up a lot of things that are gonna be fun. You know what I mean? Like, are you actually down for it though? You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I feel like you're holding back, Ian.
Me?
Yeah.
From what?
Tell them about your Clubhouse experiences.
What do you want me to talk about?
About the phonies that you're out here meeting on Clubhouse.
Bro, like Clubhouse is a great. So before I start, like I've been on Clubhouse quite a bit. I've been in and out of rooms, hopping around. I don't really talk too much unless there is a good conversation going on, or it's more people in my space, like Toronto, like the Toronto groups I try to get involved in. But first off, it's a great app. There's a lot of connections you can make. There's a lot of people. There's also a lot of people that talk a lot. They talk a lot, and and it's cool. Everyone's trying to get their name out there, but I think titles get thrown around and get like a lot of titles and labels. People self-proclaim, and they have no fucking they have no stripes to back it up. Like they have no proof. You know what I mean? Like. Maybe if it's really an app where you're trying to get people to go to your Instagram, I don't see fucking anything related. Like this one guy said he did product photography. I went to his Instagram, I didn't see one fucking photo of a product, and he didn't even have a fucking website. So I'm like, how the fuck do you do product photography? Claim you do and claim you're good at it, and you don't even have one fucking example on your Instagram or a website to fucking show it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this? Well, am I supposed to ask you in the DMs like?
Yeah,
how are you claiming what you are, but I don't see anything? You know what I mean? It's like I'm a photographer, but all I have is fucking selfies of myself on my Instagram. Sorry, I'm just saying like that's weird. Like I don't know. There's just a lot of titles like this. What? Man, I sound like a hater. But I don't even care.
Sound like a hater because people do this shit.
There was this one girl from
people listening do this shit.
There was this one girl from Toronto. I was in a group, and I went to her bio, and she was explaining who she was and shit. And then she wrote like YouTuber in her bio, and then I went YouTuber, right? And then I went to her YouTube account, and she had 30 subscribers and one video with 60 views. Fake. One fucking video.
Fake.
How are you a YouTuber? You've made one fucking video, and it was uploaded a month ago.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
You're not actually making content.
You're a joker.
Which means you're not a YouTuber. You're not actually doing what you think.
You're a fucking joker. Don't call yourself a YouTuber. You have one video, and you made it a month ago too, which is even worse. Like it's not like you uploaded yesterday. You've been slacking already. How you've only uploaded one video in a month? The hell you should be uploading a video every week. What are you doing?
Do you think people
fucking?
How many people were in like a group like that, for example, with that one talking, that person? That
how many people were in that group?
Yeah, with that liar.
There's
talking.
probably like 300 people.
So how many of them do you think like? They left that group and then they didn't think a second about it. They didn't do what you did and they
actually look up and prove. Yeah, probably not a lot. I actually take the time to not everyone, but like if.
And it sucks that not everybody does that type of shit.
I'm actually looking deep.
Even before that, did you know that they were bullshitting? Like
no, I thought
I can smell that shit on people's breath, yo, through the phone. I can smell that shit, yo. Yeah. I can smell that shit.
When someone introduces who they are and they tell me they're a YouTuber, like a model, an actor, videographer, photographer, investor, and like fucking self-help person, and they tell me they're all of these things, I'm like, there's no fucking way you're all these things.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way you're all these things. At your age, you're like 23 years old. Like, get out of here. There's no way you're actually a master at all these things already. It's impossible.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb. Like, if you're under 30 and you have like 5 job titles, just shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. Pick your favorite, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not gonna be good enough to say that you're all 5 of them. You know, unless you've been doing this shit since you're Shawn Mendes or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, definitely like dabble in all of these different things.
But don't call yourself that.
Call yourself what that is. You're like, no, come on, man. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a bunch of sales. There's a bunch of hucksters, bro, in that app.
Yeah.
Hucksters.
Yeah, that's why I don't go into like certain groups unless like the actual subject matter is something I'm actually interested in, because something where there's just what is it, like advice for entrepreneurs and that's too vague. That's way too vague. And
It's got to be a very like
it has to be
targeted,
really
very
specific and targeted.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, and I hop in that group, and most of those groups that are just advice for entrepreneurs, advice for producers, you're gonna see a bunch of people in there, and it's gonna be like 10 people talking that I can smell like at least 7 out of the 10 people there are not really actually doing what they're talking about, and then the other 3, one of them is actually out here putting in that work.
And it's usually the moderator.
Yeah, and it's usually the moderator.
Like the mods are probably might be the most legit people.
Yeah, literally might. And then you have like 100, 200, 300 other people that are just listening. They're clearly just kids trying to figure shit out, trying to figure out life. How can we do this? Why isn't my business succeeding? Why isn't my podcast succeeding? And I completely understand it, but yeah, you got to also be able to smell the shit on people's breath, man.
Yeah.
And like even with some of the snakes that we've dealt with, we sniff that out the second we meet them. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool.
And that's you can watch them afar, you can observe them, but don't let them infect what you got going on, You can listen, don't let it, impede with what you have going on. Like keep your wits about you. And that's a good point too. Like when you see a name of a talk and it's super general, like you don't know what they would be talking about unless it's like general entrepreneur advice with, and then it's a name that then that's fine if they're just, because that person would be experienced enough to talk about anything. But like if it's just a general thing and you don't know any of the people, like it's probably just gonna be a lot of bullshit. Like find the ones that. And then, when there's like a talk that has a very specific topic, then that the moderator or the people involved actually put time into
the shit,
thinking about what the thing is going to be about,
I've only been in like 3 or 4 groups actually were giving me some great knowledge. One of them was like a commercial directors group, and I know the moderators were successful. I actually knew one of them. One of them was, right? And he had directed videos for big brands, Nike and shit, and I knew that.
Yeah.
And they were giving some great pointers because they were like legit. And there are groups like that, so you have to definitely feed through them. But there is a lot of fuckery groups, like just people like talking shit, and then like they just they don't have any real like proof behind what they're saying. It's fine. I mean, that's why like would take a lot of what you hear on Clubhouse with a grain of salt, ultimately. And it is a great place to build connections. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, for
Worst case, you could join one of those follow groups.
Yeah.
And get some followers. I've done it. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah,
Is
he's
what it
out
is.
here.
Actually, bro, can I just make a quick 2-second rant? Yo, why the fuck do the people from Toronto don't follow back? All the other Americans are following me back. Toronto people don't follow me back, yo.
I agree with you, but I don't agree with you because I've had a different experience.
What the fuck's going
I've
on?
had a lot of Toronto people follow me, but I have noticed that they unfollowed me recently because my followers went from I was at like 7, almost like 740, and now I'm all of a sudden at like 720.
You're talking about Instagram.
On Instagram.
I'm talking about Clubhouse.
No, but
Instagram too.
I'll get those, but you'll see those people that follow you on Instagram because they heard, oh, you have a playlist. Oh, check this out. I'm gonna send this guy my music, and they send it to me, and that's it. That's our interaction.
And then they don't follow.
But I do. But I will say, people from Toronto are following the people. But it seems like the people that I actually care about talking to are the ones that are following. Everybody else that I know is just a fucking slime and. Just trying to use whatever type of little thing that I have or trying to get their stuff put out. Yeah. I could tell that they're just, here for the quick 1-2. But definitely 100% Americans, they follow back. And it's because Americans are just...
Yeah.
They pay for
I don't
shit.
know, man. Like a lot of...
It's crazy.
They pay for shit.
Real shit.
They pay for shit,
It's weird to think that if we lived in the States, I think like just the catalog of shit that we have right now would probably be sustaining us,
Yeah, and it would be... big over here, people will be like, yo, fuck, I want to be like those guys.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. I think like every person, it hasn't been a lot of people, but like that handful of people who have messaged me on the ones and be like, yo, why aren't you like bigger?
Yeah.
They've all been from the States.
Yeah. I was watching what was it Make Me Move? I was watching the Make Me Move video the other day, and I was seeing some comments, and I was like, and this guy's like, yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy's
yeah,
not
yeah.
fucking famous yet.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you don't even know.
I guarantee
Stuck
you that
in
guy's from the
Canada.
States, bro.
We're
Yeah,
stuck in
exactly.
Canada.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you don't even know.
We're stuck in
You don't even
Canada.
know the half.
I wonder
of it,
what
bro.
city your music would do the best.
Yeah.
If you were to switch.
I don't know.
to a
know.
city.
Let's see.
Yo.
Where would Kevin
like-
be from? You know,
Just teleport, yo. Where would he be?
where would Kevin's music?
I don't know.
Kevin would be from like a small town somewhere,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
and then blow up.
Yeah.
It'd be like
in like
Sa-
New York.
It'd be like
Yeah.
Seattle,
Not even Seattle. Seattle, no one makes it out of Seattle. Like,
except for like Lil Mosey.
yeah, like
He's the only man to come out of Seattle, I believe.
maybe like
Macklemore.
Kevin, like,
Macklemore,
Kevin has
sorry,
to
yeah.
be from somewhere like cold though, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
like New Yorkish, but you could say he's from New York, but he's like
Upstate New York.
Yeah,
upset.
like
He's out-
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Maybe
Buffalo?
the outskirts of New Jersey or some shit, you know?
Bro, Buffalo is basically Canada, just
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
America.
Yeah, literally.
Like the people are literally the same. Like
Yeah.
they're the same. They're just American. Like that's the only difference.
But yeah, that's
They
what it
talk
would
the
be.
same. You know, their weather's the same.
I can't
Yeah.
see it. Yeah, I can't see Kevin with the LA.
Yeah. I don't think it would work.
He wouldn't be in California.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Like who's born? Like it's weird to be
Nah.
born in
It
LA.
wouldn't be Atlanta
you know,
or
like-
California. You wouldn't be from the South. You wouldn't be from the South.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like
That'd
you'd
be if we were in Atlanta though.
You'd be
I want to
from
be in Atlanta so.
You'd be from a place that's very liberal, very hip. Maybe San Francisco.
Atlanta's kind of liberal.
San Francisco, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I can see Kevin in Atlanta. You know,
Really?
a little country. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see something like that. Virginia.
Even
Virginia.
Probably, I feel like
That'd be
even
sick.
Vancouver.
Neptune's
would be
Timberland.
better.
Yeah,
I think even Vancouver.
Yo, yeah, no,
Virginia.
seriously. Virginia. Yeah.
Virginia.
They got the beach too.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like I feel
What
like
do you know about
Vancouver.
Virginia?
If we were in Vancouver, we would have went to LA. You know,
Yeah. Facts.
so that would have been the good part about that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so like Seth Rogen. That's why he blew up because when he was in high school, like he just crossed the border.
It's
you know.
it's a shorter drive. You
Yeah.
can actually drive there without it being like a whole week's adventure.
a whole week. Yeah. Facts.
You can't drive to LA. Well, you can. It just takes a whole ass week.
That sucks, man. Where would Ian be from, yo?
If I was an American, where would I be?
Yeah.
Jeez, probably like Iowa or something.
I can see that.
Iowa. So I'm a Mormon. Utah. Sorry, they're from Utah. I lied.
You could even be a Denver man.
I'd be like maybe
Denver would be sick.
maybe Michigan.
Michigan.
Maybe Michigan or Indiana. Maybe Chicago.
Ooh, you're a Chirac.
A
Yeah.
Chirac.
Maybe, but like the
Jeez.
white side.
I can see that.
North side, north side.
I can see a Chicago.
North side Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah,
North
yeah,
side
that'd be
Chicago.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely.
I feel like you would have
It'd be
got
north.
got to LA.
I'm
no
not-
matter where you were born, you would have got to LA at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be a Florida.
Maybe
man.
Portland.
Florida?
Yeah, I'd be like a Florida man.
I'm just saying towns that are like really white.
A space ghost?
Yeah, you know, a space goes per man's. You know. I don't know how wild I'd be. I'd prefer to be somewhere in Miami, but I might be from like Florida. Maybe even like a. I might even.
I don't even know what this even means.
I might even be
but
blessed to be
this
from
is
like
funny.
Tampa Bay. You know. Tampa.
None of us would be from the South though.
Yeah, I don't
Florida's-
think I would be from the South. Like I
hell
might
no.
be. I might, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Like Oklahoma, bro. That'd be wow.
I can't
bro.
be seen in
Missouri?
Texas. I can't be seen in Texas. So no. Nah,
Texas.
I might even be a Minnesota man.
that's north.
Minnesota. I was thinking Minnesota too, because I think what's his name, Suwiki Back's from Minnesota.
I
Yeah,
might
I
even-
fuck with Minnesota. I
I might
mean,
be a Minnesota man.
Minnesota and Wisconsin.
George Floyd
are,
and I don't know about their police
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Yeah, I'd be trying
but,
to get
you know.
out of there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have that motivation to leave.
That's
ASAP.
true.
yeah, Minnesota. Wisconsin.
See, that's the problem with Toronto is like it's good enough of a city to live, but then it's not shitty enough of a city for you to be like, yo, I gotta
I
get
gotta
out.
get out of here.
You know, it's not even like a, you know, even
I
if
got
you
dreams of
lived
LA.
in like if you lived in like fucking like Timmins or some shit, I'd be like, yo, I'm trying to get to LA. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why those mans are trying to get to Toronto. Like,
They're lost. They're lost.
closest
bro.
place. They think, yeah, people from the places like that, like they really think Toronto's like a next level place, and it is.
And it
but
is when they come and visit.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, but when you live here, like your whole life,
It's
and
a different story.
It's completely different.
But I still love Toronto.
yeah,
No,
It's
I love
just-
Toronto. Like it's a great place to raise a family. You know, if you're especially in the suburb areas, it's very safe. It's just very unaffordable. So you better be getting your bags when you live here,
Yeah.
or you're gonna be toughing it out. You know what I mean? But besides that, And any major city in North America is expensive. Like, you know what I mean? Like most of them, all the main ones. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Vancouver's bad.
Vancouver's
Fucking
probably worse.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
So same with New York and San Fran and LA and Miami. These are all very expensive cities.
All very
all the
expensive.
places you want.
I'd definitely be broke in all those places.
The cheapest city that's big is probably like Chicago. It's like still expensive, but like maybe
Yeah.
not as expensive.
I was gonna say though, like about Texas, like I wouldn't mind
I
living in
would
like
love
a
to
Houston
live in
or
Texas,
something,
bro.
you know?
Yeah, I would love to live in Houston, specifically Houston.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
The way Joe Rogan talks about it seems like pretty sick.
I've heard that's a dreamland, and some of the baddest, not even the baddies, but like the baddest are out there.
Yeah.
Like Houston is like,
Austin's pretty good.
yeah, it's a little racist.
Is it?
A little racist in Austin.
It's like the white side of
Yeah.
like besides this, like the city.
I just look at Texas
like
as
the
a
whitest
whole as a
city
racist
in
place,
Houston.
but definitely
It's like-
Houston is
like
a one
Houston,
spot.
like Houston and Dallas are like the
Texas.
least
Jesus.
the least racist of the two
Yeah.
of the state. Probably Austin, I think,
Yeah.
it still has that. You know, like
I might be called it the N word.
yeah,
In
Wild.
Austin?
Yeah,
What?
while walking
it's the
around.
most liberal city in Texas.
like they don't mean it. You know,
don't.
they're
It's like
just,
the blue. It's like the blue.
They're just, you know.
It's like the
Yeah, they don't
area
mean
that's blue in pocket, the little pocket that's blue in Texas. Really? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. But
I've never
Houston,
been. I mean, Houston is Houston.
gotta get to Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
be fun.
Canadians talk about America like we know,
I know.
our
Like
shit.
we know.
Like we know our fucking
Like
shit.
we've been there.
Like we don't fucking know.
Houston.
We don't fucking know, dude.
Phoenix might be lit too.
Phoenix is hot as shit though.
Yeah, get
I'd
the
be down
Grand
to go
Canyon.
to San Antonio as
Yeah.
well. I feel like they're a little crazy out there.
Yeah,
I feel like they're the Florida
yeah.
of that, of that area. But
Yeah.
I'd love to go to San Antonio and see what that's like.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Go watch a Spurs game.
I would have loved to have grown up being a Spurs fan. That would have been so
That'd be
fun, bro.
crazy. Yeah.
A championship every other year, like
Just chilling,
yeah.
Damn.
What's up, guys? We're back
Stop that.
from a quick little
Stop it.
2-second break. Hey,
Stop saying that.
we're back though.
You don't need to say that anymore.
I know.
They
Sorry.
don't care.
I don't know what else
It would
to say.
work if we have a sponsor, because then we'd be like, hey, we're gonna take a quick
From
break.
that quick ad.
Yeah.
Here's a word from our sponsor, and then we come back.
That would be cool.
You don't need to say
Well,
that. They're
so what do
watching
I
on
do? Like,
YouTube and they see us.
we've been doing this for 68 episodes now, and what do I do? Just start talking. Just start talking.
Just get to it.
Cool. We were talking about like where would we live or be, if we were American, which is very
Be.
interesting. Where would we be? That's what I meant to say.
Oh.
Yeah. That's weird as fuck though.
Who would I be?
Who would I be? But yeah, anyways, let's move on. I wanted to talk about, I guess we kind of dabbled in it before, like the state, like the overall state of like with COVID and lockdown and everything, like the overall state of like this arts community in Toronto. Like, do you guys think it's in a fragile place and heading towards an even more fragile place, given just the lack of opportunity that's here even now, and it has been in the last year or so? Are we going to be able to pick our feet up from it? You know what I mean? Us, not even just us. I think we're good, but like just overall, it's hard.
What do you mean by fragile?
Do you think like just people recovering financially, being able to do their hustle, their goals? Do you think it's gonna be tougher for people to do it now with everything going on?
I don't know. Yes, if you weren't focused.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like for us, it might, no matter what, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. I feel like, if anything, it would just prevent people who weren't as serious from doing it. Maybe that helps us. Maybe that helps the community. I don't know.
A lot of people just kind of,
Yeah.
stop, disappear.
I'd hope that something like this cut the weak people out.
Or just like
True.
make them like refocus and realize that you can't just focus on yourself or like trying to get your quick bag, because that's not how you create any kind of lasting growth. Like,
Yeah.
you got to actually produce a foundation, and so that we can all survive.
Yeah, as I was saying, I just hope it cuts out the fat, at least.
Yeah. All the people who weren't serious. Is
Yeah.
what you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
But
It's also giving them more time to do shit too, so it's kind of, you know.
Yeah,
That's what you'd think, right?
There's a lot of people, again, I think we said this before, but there's a lot of people that I feel like really took advantage of everything, this whole situation.
Yeah.
You know, they put out more stuff, or they sat back for the first half of the year and, you know, devised a plan and how to approach the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Like, and I feel like a lot of people, yes, definitely just disappeared. Like,
For real.
I hope that you disappeared for a good reason, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that you disappeared for a good reason and you didn't fall off because you felt like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. No.
Like you made an excuse that you couldn't do it.
Yeah, you can still do a lot of shit. People are still shooting music videos. People are still making music. I would say Pressa right now is in his fucking prime. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like this
Pressa came out with some good music.
He's coming out with good music, good
now,
stuff, and he's one of those guys that I feel like should have been famous a long time ago, but he used the pandemic, he used this whole situation in his favor, and he was able to, you know, sit back a little bit. And then towards the end of last year and coming into this year, you could tell he's in I need to make it now mode or else everything is over, you know?
Right.
So yeah, there's a lot of artists out here that are just doing their thing, and I fuck with it heavy. So if you're one of those people that kind of just fell back, I hope it was for a reason. And just to go to the fragile state, I don't know. I feel like there have been a lot of opportunities grant wise. So I'm seeing a lot more grants for, you know, a lot more people. I'm seeing those, and they're being shared a lot more than I've ever seen before. And it's because of this whole situation that people are starting to figure out, yo, I need to invest in my thing. And if they don't have the money, then they start learning more about grants and other shit. So I've been seeing a lot of that, and I hope, you know, people have been taking advantage of that. There's a few that I still need to take advantage of and make sure that I hop on.
There's a bunch of grants. There was a bunch of COVID grants.
Yeah.
Before, back in, I think that might be old news now because it was more of a last year thing, but
there's some new ones right now that you have, like literally, I would say maybe mid-February you have up until to still apply for. And you know, they're like smaller grants, so it's just like more for learning a skill, if anything. But that's something like I would apply for one to maybe, you know, do a course in some editing stuff, for example, you know, a couple $100. That's more than enough for you to get off your feet and get back into doing what you were doing or learn something new, you know? So I don't know. I just hope people have been taking the time to do their thing.
Yeah, that's ultimately what you would hope. I was also thinking like the just how anyone who was, but then we just answered the question. I was gonna say anyone who had anything in like planned for 2020, you know, kind of it got disrupted, but then that shouldn't have been an excuse then ultimately, because we're seeing people do some of the best shit they've ever done during this pandemic. So that kind of actually answers my question here, because then I mean the only thing that I can think of that's we don't have that artists should be doing is performing live, which is very important, and we can't do that. I mean, there are, you know, Instagram Live and shit. It's not the same though. But
let's be real, the size of the artists and whatnot that we're talking about, none of them were gonna make a bag off of performing anyways.
It was, yeah, the money from that wouldn't have been there, but maybe like the exposure would have been there.
So I'd hope again that you
should even, I think if you're an artist of any size, you should be doing some sort of live performance somewhere. I don't think you should not be doing it.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're the newest artist here, like you should be doing some live performance stuff.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I don't think the performances affected people as much. It's not. Yeah,
that's not stunting people's growth.
It's not stunting growth.
You don't think? Okay.
I don't think performing is stunting growth personally.
I mean, there was a lot of
work on your craft.
There's a lot of artists who live downtown and like that's how they make their money.
I get that, yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like, yeah. You know, it's not like you're the only person, you're the only artist who was affected. So it is. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
everybody's
I'm sure it
dealing with
affected
the same
you,
kind
but
of circumstances.
It shouldn't affect your craft.
Yeah.
And what you have to do and what you're already doing, you know? If anything, use this time to figure out what your weaknesses are and get better.
Right.
That's all. And then you can bring it to the stage when, you know, we have the opportunity to. And then everybody's going to be doing shows. It's going to be lit. Like, I'm excited for when we get to come back from this, because I'm I'm gonna go to the club for no reason.
Yo, bro, I might even buy a booth, bro.
Yeah, man, I might get
Like,
you
I
might have
got
to
some
get
money in the funds. Like, I might buy a booth.
You might have to get some
You
bottles,
know, and just
like
invite,
just for no
We
reason.
might just buy a booth and
On a Monday.
and invite. Yeah, because we can. Fuck it. It's not like we have a 9 to 5. Man's get up at like noon, anyways. Yeah, you know, get a booth and then get everybody that we know in it. You know, that'd be kind of sick.
Like,
I'm actually down for that.
yeah, that's the main thing I'm missing. Just performances.
Let's go to like apartment 200.
and just going out and
Yeah.
shit. Like those are the main things I miss. Just being able to go out whenever.
Dude, like we had not like a lot of plans. We had a lot of visions and ideas of doing live events. You know, Lost in Nostalgia managing live events. We wanted to do that, and we haven't been able to, obviously, in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we remember we were talking about it. We had all these ideas.
Yeah, we wanted to do it for the end of last year.
Yeah, we wanted to do like parties. We literally wanted to throw parties. You know, private parties. Just for the sake of networking, for the sake of just like the community and
getting lit.
getting a bunch of artists together, getting lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We still want to do it. So when stuff opens up, like that's gonna be on the to-do list, for sure.
For sure, Z's.
For sure, Z's.
But yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. People just need to figure this shit out. All of us do. You know.
Yeah.
And again, just work on your craft. Use this time to just work on your shit and collect any bags that you can. Get in that extra work if you can. Sit down with yourself. Figure out yourself. You know.
Yeah.
But the community overall, it was already kind of
Sus.
sus, anyways. Yeah.
Even before the pandemic, right?
Even before the pandemic, so I can't really comment on that. You know, like I'm happy.
But how do we fix it?
You can't, bro.
But are we? Is it our? Can we? We can't.
No, we have to murder. Want me to tell you?
How?
This is gonna be arrested. We need to murder all the white people in the big corporations. We need to
Oh,
them
the
out of there.
gatekeepers.
Yeah,
We need to murder all the gatekeepers,
yeah, pretty much.
or at least figure out a way to get rid of them.
And them and their families.
Jesus
'Cause
Christ.
they're just gonna take it out.
Their sons are gonna take
And
over.
their assistants.
Yeah.
And
Fuck.
their apprentices.
But why can't we just like make our own label and then just do it?
We've seen somebody try to do that.
Who?
Voldemort.
Well, no, yeah, like we can, but we need money. And
money.
That's what I'm saying.
Position,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. We need
Yeah.
capital. Like,
And more of an audience. You know?
yeah.
okay. Then we need to get like investors,
Yeah.
and we need to get like the white people to invest in it
Yeah. The right
Yeah.
white people.
the right way.
The cool white people.
Which is the problem. Yeah, then the problem becomes like when they pay you money, they own you, and they
Yeah.
operate that way, even though they might not say that. Like that's how they handle those contracts, and that's why
yeah,
are
that's
these
right.
artists are so upset
They're
when
gonna own us.
when they get in these label situations, and they kind of talk about it like they're locked up because they
No
are
way of doing
you
it. Like
know?
you get investors and then they just own you.
yeah.
Fuck, man. There's no way around it. God damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm done, y'all.
I've been. No.
I want to get. It's like fuck. I wish it was just that simple. It's like. ugh. Anyways, I don't know. I think we're running dry here with our conversation. We could probably just wrap the pod up.
We
here.
can wrap it. One more thing I wanted to talk about quick is just corny people.
Corny people. Okay, we've talked about it a little bit before.
I know a lot of them are like artists,
Cornballs.
cornballs. Yeah,
Do they know they're being cornballs?
that's what I was gonna ask you guys. I wonder if they know.
They don't know. There's no way. No one wants to be corny.
And I feel like I've sounded like really negative in this podcast, but fuck it. Do you like me myself? And this is just me looking at me. You know, I think I'm a reasonably cool guy. Like I'm a pretty like cool guy. You
I'm
know,
not laughing because it's not true. I'm just laughing because you're self-proclaiming it.
but I know I'm cool.
Yeah.
And like if you ask a good majority of people, be like, Jamal's cool.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
And it's not a, oh, I didn't notice that. It's like, no, that's something that
You
like,
notice.
it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
analyze other people around me and like relative. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's not about being the coolest. It's just about like looking at everybody around you and be like, yeah,
I've been stopped. And
Yeah.
been like, yo, Jamal, like, you're cool.
Yeah.
I've been pulled to the side.
yeah.
Yo, Jamal, you're cool.
I've been called cool, believe it or not.
This guy.
Believe it or
That's
not.
corny.
Yeah. I've been called cool. I swear, you know.
I've been called cool.
He shoots photos of naked women, and he has tattoos, and he kind of dresses like a hipster, and he has a fucking a production company. That's kind of cool. That's cool. Okay, that's cooler than some
Don't kill me.
dude who works at a law firm. Okay, I don't give a fuck.
I just wonder if people know that they're corny. Because, like, I feel like as of recent, we've met a lot of people that are just, like, really corny.
They're just
And
like
they just don't know they're corny.
they're like huckster. You know the term huckster? Like they're just like little fucking like they think they're little salesmen.
they think like because they did this or they did that.
And they're like some next level shit, and
They're like cool.
they all want to be like 50 Cent or Dr. Dre and whatever. Like,
I don't even.
like
I don't know, man. It's just weird. I just wonder, and I hope the people listening to this aren't really corny. You know.
I think it goes back to a conversation that we had about being roasted and roasting in school. I feel like if you were gonna dedicate any amount of time in elementary school to something, I feel like it should just be 8 hours of roasting, because I
Real
feel like
shit.
that's where it tests you. Not only because it's not about the roasting, it's about how quickly you're able to get recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also just accept the things that people point out about you, because those are the time. Because if there was anything that was kind of suspect about you as a kid, you ironed that out at that time, because you're like, oh shit,
that's
got
why I
called
always
out for
say
that,
like
you
it's
know?
a fucked up part of it, but I don't even care. I think it's a way of life that like bullying and
You need bullies.
bullying in some sense needs to exist.
They're a resource.
Yeah.
And I think I almost culture and like anti-bully culture and the school system has almost eradicated bullying in a lot of senses, and maybe it's just breeding some weak ass children,
And corny children. you know?
corny children too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys knew some kids that were bullied. I didn't know many kids that were like bullied.
Not to like death, you know.
Yeah, well, that's not.
And
good.
you-
I, don't
I
want
get
that
it,
to
yeah, you
happen.
get
I
that
get
it
it. That you
happens.
don't want to happen.
I don't
Yeah.
want kids offing themselves. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean? But-
I get it. You never.
But I feel
want
like
it to
there's
be
a
that
point.
extreme.
There's a point in school where like you can, you get into a little roasting battle with somebody,
yeah.
and it's fine. And then
Yeah.
there's moments where it's like, okay, like I gotta tell a teacher, or I gotta tell my
Yeah, like
parents.
someone
or
needs to make fun of
something.
your mom at one
Right?
point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, roast you
Exactly.
about that, you know? Like, you can't
It's
be
not like
crying.
your mom's gonna find out. You know?
Your mom did this. Your mom's so fast she got stuck in
I
the
don't know,
air.
Yeah, that shit was jokes though.
Yeah.
When she jumped, she didn't come down or some shit like that. That's just jokes. Like
yeah.
I remember those jokes.
Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah,
that's
man.
why we watched fucking Wild and Out and
Wildin' Out.
Yo
and what was it?
Mama.
Yeah, Yo
and-
Mama.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name again? What's his name? Fuck. Who's the host? The guy from that '70s show.
I don't know.
Oh,
Blanking out.
fucking.
You know?
Yeah.
Was it Wilmer?
Yeah, it was Wilmer.
Valderrama? Or
Yeah,
some shit?
Valderrama. Yeah.
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 That show was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good idea. That was like the early Wild and Out
Yeah.
before, Wild and Out really took off. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. There's just corny dudes. And like, I've been watching like the footage from our most recent music video.
Right.
And I'm listening to this guy just talk. And I'm just like, cornball. He's just a cornball. And like, this guy's looking at this. He took it in. He's like thinking, he's like, who is he talking about?
I'm like, oh, shit.
Nah, he's just a cornball.
I'm like, we're not on live.
Yeah, he's just a cornball. Like, it's just
Shit.
and I'm just hearing the things that he's saying in the background of the cuts and the way he's just like performing the song. Mm-hmm. And I knew this while we were shooting this. I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy's corny.
Yeah.
But then I'm hearing like all the stuff he has to say now because I have to cut all this footage and there's audio to it. And I'm like, this guy's just so fucking corny. But he's talking about, yeah, man, once summer hits, we're gonna go on some jet skis. And he's making sure he says it around the girls.
Yeah.
So that they get interested. Because
Yeah.
then they're like, oh, jet skis? And I'm like, oh,
Like, oh, you're full of shit. You're going to rent them.
what?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I feel like, it's like you see that. I when I see that, like sometimes I have flashbacks to like as a kid when you're in school and you see somebody who's just talking loud because they want people to like
To hear them.
and you know that they're not actually interesting and they're just trying to talk about the most interesting thing that happened to them as if it's like,
Something amazing.
Yeah.
It's not really. And then you think about people, like the other squad that we had to deal with that weren't trying to hit us back.
Yeah.
And just all that hype that they build around this video that we made for them for it to get 200 or 300 views.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And in the moment,
I was
we're
shook.
there on set and I'm thinking to myself, these guys are fucking corny. These guys are so corny.
Yeah.
And I'm regretting every second of it. But, you know, I'm like, whatever, we're here for that bag at the end of the day. Like, I'm here to collect, you know?
Yeah, we're already deep into it anyways.
I'm here to collect the bag. Like, this is why this is going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, damn.
It's true though, because it's like, we're here for the money, but like you not that you want to help them, but it's like
I want to just put
you know that
dude,
they're not seeing something, and you're like,
Yeah.
I want you to see it because
like, dude, like, shut up.
yeah, that's it. That's all you need to do is
Shut the
stop
fuck up.
talking.
You can't though, because like people in this industry, like they think they're always right.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
That's so sad.
It's so hard to tell an artist and their manager that what they're doing is wrong. You know how hard it is, especially unless it's coming from someone way up. You know, like if
Man's are talking about.
if like Drake came up to him like, you suck, and then they might actually have.
Yeah.
An
And then that
epiphany.
comment he made
You know
about
what I
Drake.
mean? But
Yeah.
oh yeah,
You know that comment he made about Drake too?
yeah. You,
And I was just
you
like,
heard that?
you told me about it.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I thought you heard it. Too.
You told me about it. And I was
did,
just
yeah.
like,
yeah.
and obviously I believe him saying that because of other shit he was saying. And I'm just like, why would you say that? The guy was talking about how he doesn't like Drake.
Like he can't listen to him. He just can't take him
like-
seriously. Basically,
what do you
like
mean
he's
you can't?
basically. I think he was calling Drake corny.
I'm like, how can you not take the
Drake is kind of corny, but
Drake is corny?
And,
Yes,
like, but he knows
But
it.
it's like, it's his character.
yeah, he's making money from it. You can't say anything about that.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're a cornball, but you're making billions, bro. I can't even hate.
you can't hate on that.
Yeah, but if you're a cornball and you're broke, then it's different.
I just don't get it.
It's different.
I don't understand.
because that's literally the difference right there. Because
Yeah.
like you can't tell Drake he's corny because he has money. Like you can't tell him.
He'll
anything.
call your girl right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
write a song about her.
yeah,
Yeah,
And you'll listen to it.
yeah.
yeah.
You know.
And you'll listen to it.
And that's what's happened to people. This has definitely happened to people before.
Yeah.
That happened to Chris Brown. We're not gonna get into that story, but it's just crazy to me, man. It's just really, really corny people out there that just don't know they're corny. And I hate to sound so negative this podcast, but I hope a lot of you are just
More self-aware.
self-aware of your corn and how much you're
Lot of
taking
corn.
in.
Lot of
There's just a
corn.
lot of corniness going on, man.
Yeah.
People are just trying to show off for this, show off for that, show
Yeah.
off for me, and I'm like, dude,
I don't give a fuck.
I'm going back home to jerk off by
Yeah.
myself. Like, I don't care about.
And
This
so are
lifestyle.
you. You know.
And
Yeah.
thank you, and so are you. You're
And
not
and like
getting
we
these
know
bitches.
that. You know. Like
maybe
Can
some
you just be cool?
some 18-year-old thotty might be fucking obsessed about it, but I don't give a fuck about how what the fuck lavish life you might be living. I don't shit.
And especially, I hate to hear you talk about this life and all this shit for your video to get 300 views if you make it, you know,
Yeah,
because I know it's not my fault.
definitely not. Definitely not.
the
Because
corniness shows up
if
in
your
the
music
performance.
is good, you
I
can,
go to the comments and they say, "Yo, these visuals are sick." I know it wasn't me.
Yeah.
They didn't say nothing about your song.
facts. I mean, even then, if you're a sick artist, you could post a photo of your fucking face and it'll get views. With the
See,
song
maybe
over
that
it.
person was somebody trying to, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything else. They were trying to pick out the best part that they could find in the
know?
video. It's like the visuals are nice. What they really wanted to say was, "Yo, the person is corny. The artist is corny." Right? Like that's the real comment.
Yeah.
But then they mask it by saying, "Hey, the
Like,
visuals are
listen,
good."
The visuals are good. You
Fire
had,
visuals, dude.
you had nothing to do with the visuals at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
right? So,
Which might be the worst thing.
you should respond and be like, "Thank you."
I should.
That's basically like, like
Hilarious.
when you like you cooked a meal and like someone like commented on the Coke is the best part of the meal, you know?
Or the plate.
Yeah, the plate.
Oh, this is great silverware.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As they're eating your food, they're almost
They're almost done.
done, and they didn't want to finish it. They're almost done your food, bro. This is amazing fork.
This is a sick fork. Or you'd be like, "Yo, the atmosphere of this restaurant's not bad, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Pretty
like this
nice.
place.
It's pretty nice."
I'd come back for the vibe,
Yeah.
not for the food. You know? I don't know, man. There's just a lot of corny people out here, and a lot of corny people all over our clubhouse. A lot of corny people just in the city. A lot of corny people just all over the world,
Yeah.
man. And I just hope, that you're at least aware of your corniness, and if that's your thing, then cool, go
power
with
to
it.
you, but-
Go to it, do your thing. But I don't know. There's like cool corny, and there's actual corny.
Yeah.
You know.
Cool corny's like Drake.
And there's other people that even just regular people that are just corny that I'm like, you're you, like you're you. That's
Yeah.
why it's cool.
Yeah.
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 You're being yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not trying to impress strangers.
Yeah.
That don't care about you. You're not trying to get ass tonight. You know?
That's true, and it doesn't become corny then. It's like different. Like I wouldn't even consider them corny, you know? Yeah, even if like two people could do the same thing, but it's like if one person is actually that and the other person is clearly just saying that just for attention, like you can tell the difference,
it's two
right?
different things. Yeah, I know some weird people, and I love some weird people, bro. But it's because they're actually just weird.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's sick.
There's a lot of cool weirdos out
Like
there.
you're fucking weird, and I like it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck you're doing that, but that's sick.
Yeah.
That you even thought of that.
There's a lot of cool weirdos out there. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
Some
Man.
of the greatest artists in the world are weirdos.
Definitely.
You know, you look at even like the old school painters. You know, like Van Gogh is a freak.
Yeah.
He cut his own ear off. That guy's a freak.
Yeah, he cut his own ear off.
But
I'm
he's
like,
a fucking genius.
that's sick though.
You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have looked at him weird if
Yeah.
if
Oh,
he
your ear's
if he
gone?
cut off his ear in front of me. I'd been like, all right, yeah.
I'm like, that's a little scary. Bro. That's you though.
Yeah.
yeah.
I could tell by your personality that you do
he
some
cut
shit
his ear
like that.
off, but no one calls him a freak.
And you know what? I feel like when he did
Right?
that, he's like, yo, mans are gonna be talking about this for 500 years. Every time they bring up my name, they're gonna be like, yo, man who cut off his ear?
That's
he
crazy.
knew it.
That's crazy, dude.
And realistically, what's an ear?
Yeah. In a lifetime. And it wasn't even people think it's a whole ear. Like he cut off a chunk, bro.
Yeah, man. Mike Tyson
Yeah.
bit a
He
man
cut off a chunk and sent it to his love, bro.
to show her he listens.
Imagine you try to do that now, like cut off your own fucking ear.
Because his things just kept yelling at him, like, yo, you don't listen to me. So he cut off his ear. Don't you wouldn't you want to
Take
do that
this.
to your girl sometimes?
That's crazy.
That's real love, man.
Crazy.
And that's real shit to me, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just please don't be the cornies out there, man.
Yeah.
Be a cool corny, and I'll respect you.
Just be you.
Be you, man.
I think, yeah, that's a good point. I think you become corny when you're essentially not being yourself. It's very easy to become corny when you're not being yourself.
And I could smell that shit.
Smells like corn, bro.
It smells like corn. Like
Not the good corn, not the
Nah.
Doritos corn,
No.
bro.
I'm talking about we just
the
opened
hot
a can of corn and I just
Cheetos.
I just feel like I put my hand in a thing of corn. And I just have corn sitting in my hand.
It's not that nice corn on the cob
And
off the
while you're talking to me,
barbecue.
all I can see is the corn in front of me. Like I'm just like,
the corn that comes out of my ass, dude.
yeah, literally. Like you see toilet corn. That you just got the strainer out and you just.
Okay, we're getting disgusting. Yeah.
But that's what it is, man. I just hope people aren't like that out there, man.
But no, that is a good description. Like that is how grossed out sometimes you're just like, yo, like
I'm just sick to my
yeah.
stomach.
Why are you saying this shit?
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm sitting there, I'm like, no one cares.
yeah.
And like it's funny, like you mentioned the example, and I'm sure people there were seeing through that bullshit too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like,
you're not the only one seeing through that bullshit.
he's talking
Like,
about.
I can see girls rolling their eyes about it and shit. Like they're not
You
dumb
know?
either. Not that dumb.
But it's just like, damn.
You know. It's
And to put on. No, I shouldn't say that because that's giving it away. Never mind.
yeah.
But like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. This bothers me. But anyways, we'll end the pod there, man.
Yeah.
This is the coolest podcast in the city.
In the 6.
In the 6. Thank you guys for watching / listening. This is the Lost in Talks podcast, episode 68, twitch.tv / Lost in Nostalgia. Live streams there, usually Monday around 9ish. So if you want to check there, we do other days as well. But
Yeah.
usually
You'll get
Monday, I'll be there
notified-
consistently on Monday.
You'll get notified on our Instagram, so you should follow our Instagram.
Yeah.
And then you'll see it on our story, so then you'll know when we're doing it. So that's probably what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing that. And then keep waiting for some new Kevin stuff to come out, you know?
Yeah.
But
Facts.
in the meantime, run up the views, run up the plays on all platforms for Kevin A, please.
And don't be corny.
Just don't be corny about it, you know? There's a difference, yo. Damn. Cornballs.
Live your life, bro. Fuck.
Live your life. Be authentic, man.
Yeah.
Just be you, man. Fuckers. Bye.